So yeah, I want to talk about doing business in Africa because I think it's something that most of the people from the diaspora will be thinking about. That's something that they want to do. You know, Personally, some of the challenges I've faced might necessarily not be the same thing that you will face. One, it's very difficult to trust anyone's words. I don't want to be negative or I don't want to come across as the same thing you hear all over and all over again. How Africa is bad for business and you can't trust the people and all these things. Just be careful of the words the people tell you. You get a lot of people saying that they can't. They will do this for you. They will do that for you. They will do this and that and this and that and so on. And then when you do come, you give them the money to do it. When you do come back for the report or to say, "Oh, have you done it?" It becomes more complicated, and then you spend more time and energy if you're an individual chasing them, trying to get what they say they will do back, and it's one of those things that I think I'm talking from Guinea-Conakry perspective. I could be wrong in other African countries, but you feel the sense, hey, this fly won't leave me alone. You feel the sense that it's just one of those things you have to deal with, and it's not to say that that the people are bad or the people are terrible or the people don't know what they're doing. Some of them know what they're doing. Of course, some of them, you can't judge them because they don't really know what they're doing and so on. You have to take everything in a serious, not kind of, you have to disagree or you have to haggle with them in a sense where you'll be going a lot of back and forward with them. Because, for example, for example, you would say, let's say you want to go to a place and you get on a bike, right? They will just tell you a random price. Let's say here it's Venmo, which is 20,000, right? And supposedly where you want to go, it's 5,000 or 10,000, right? If you don't haggle with them, you're just going to give them 20,000. Right, so it's one of those, because there's no fixed price. Everything is based on your words against their words, right? Because I've traveled a long distance from one place to another, and then it's a different price. Like one price, the place I've traveled long distance is slightly cheaper than the place I traveled short distance. That's one. Another thing, it's about telling someone, as I was referring back before, telling someone to do something for you, you kind of have to have a strong mind. If you have a kind, I don't want to say a weak mind, or if you're someone who's very, who's not, you kind of hustle. You have to hustle a little bit with them. And if you're an easygoing person, frustration will build quickly, right? If you're a kind of, I wouldn't say nice person, but if you have that good guy type of, not good guy, but you have that nice guy type of personality, you're trying to treat everybody the same, they won't treat you the same. Again, I don't want to come across as the country is bad or the people are bad. This is everywhere in the world, yeah? Especially in Africa, I believe time management is one of those things that you also have to deal with. If you want to get something done in time, give them 2 hours early. I kid you not, give them 2 hours early. And if it's something really important, give them 3 to 4 hours early, so they'll come early. It's better for them to come early than say come 8 o'clock and then they'll come 10 o'clock, right? That's one thing I've learned. and it's a bit frustrating because there are times where I need to go somewhere really important, and then the person who's supposed to come, they're late. That's the person who's supposed to drive you somewhere. That person is late, and of course there are drawbacks to things like this. If you have your own car, you pretty much have to do everything yourself. But who has the time to do everything themselves? In a country, no one does. What's the point? You're not going to do everything yourself in a country. You need people around you that could do certain things for you, because your time is limited, right? You have a limited time. You're trying to achieve a lot of things. You're not going to achieve everything quickly by you doing everything by yourself. It's just not realistic, right? So that's one thing I've learned. That's one thing I have to say that was I've talked about a lot of things. There is one thing that I wouldn't say but as time goes on, maybe you appreciate it more. You appreciate things like that more. But as time goes, as you're new to a country, you expect things to move a little bit faster. If you're used to having, again, all the fundamental stuff that's been done for you. You have the basic infrastructure of a country, like you have clean water and all these things, Then, again, if you stay in a nice place, you don't really need to worry about that. But if you lived in a like a day-to-day what an average person would live, it's difficult. It's really difficult. I say this because it's, I've been to a lot of places within Guinea-Conakry, and I've been to a nice house, not a nice house. I've been to a poor house, a middle class house, and also a luxurious place. The one thing I don't like, well, I can't say I don't like. The one thing I've discovered, again, I'm being a little bit biased because I'm not used to it for many years, right? The toilets. I think it's not easy to go on to use their toilets if you haven't used it in so long. That's one thing. I know most people think, oh, what the hell is this guy talking about? Like, you worry about the toilet and stuff like that. For me personally, I miss the hygiene, being hygienic, especially like the roads. Your lungs are full of dust. Like, the road are so dusty, and yeah, so like if you're eating from the street, like most of the food are full of dust and stuff like that. You can't avoid, unfortunately, until they fix some of the infrastructure and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm putting all the negative side out of the way now. So 8 minutes of negativity, in a sense, where it's not showing a good light of the country. What's the positive aspect of it? Guinea, of course, if you guys know, Guinea is in West Africa. It's a border between. It has a border of Guinea-Bissau, Senegal, Mali, and it has Sierra Leone. It's really a nice French-speaking country, right? It's a French-speaking country. It has a lot of different so-called group of people. You have some of the Fulani, the Maninke, the Soso, and so on. It's a nice mix of like, if you look at history, the Fulanis and the Maninka, when they work together, they've always prospered. They've always gone a little bit far. But I think right now, they have a political kind of division. Most of the Fulanis they voted for a guy called Selou Jallo, who just recently lost the election, and the former president, They still have a guy called Alpha Conde, who's Alpha Conde or Conde, who's the or Conte, Alpha, who's the president speaking right now. You know, so it's a nice mix. I ain't gonna lie to you. The country is a bit. If you have money, anything in life, if you have money, and you know what you're doing, and you want to go somewhere, you have a plan, you're strategic thinking, you have a you have a plan in mind. You know, life is beautiful if you have money, right? And not necessary. I believe that you could live on five. If you live a modest life, you could live on 500 a month. You know, if you have your own house, you know, and it doesn't have to be a grand house. You do find a lot of people with like large villa type of houses. Most of them from the diaspora, or most of them who has a little bit of welfare. You know, money is important in this country, because in any country, you know, it's mostly driven by people always want money. It's just one of those things. You can't escape it. You know, it's money. It's about money. You know, and of course there are other people who are content. They don't have much. You know, they have their small shop either in Medina, or they have it in a boutique. You find on the road that most of the properties, they have a boutique or a shop, like a little rectangle shop where they throw all type of thing and they sell it. It's a commerce country. You know, you go to a place called Medina, which is a heavily it's a heavy place. Pretty much they sell anything. I've been there to buy one or two things. Lot of people sell stuff, and most of it is women. You do find some men, lots of men, and if you want to exchange money, that's where you go. If you do want to talk about, like, you want to go and buy something, you want to go for clothes, for food, for shoes, you know, for jewelries, for accessories, Medina is a place to go. It's a big place. It's really a massive place. If you want to travel to other parts of Guinea, you could also take taxi there. It's a really heavy place with lots of people, you know. If you're going there, I highly recommend, you know, they do steal a lot. Again, it's just one of those things. It's a market, you know. Some people will capitalize that. They will take an opportunity to take something from you, you know. And just be careful if you don't know the local people. I would say it's a good experience. Just go, you know. If you're coming from the diaspora, go to Medina, you know. Try it out, you know. Good or bad, you will learn something. Well, so yeah, Medina is a good place if you want to buy a lot of things. That's where most people go. It's not far if you're from a place called Kipe, or if you're a place called Bambeto, or if you're in a place called Ratoma. Yeah, it's going toward the city. There's a roundabout called Bellevue. If you don't know what I'm talking about, take a look at the map of Guinea and stuff like that. It's within Conakry, by the way. Everything I'm talking about is within Conakry. So yeah, it's again, the people are nice. The people pretty much sell a lot of things. You find a lot of people